Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Morphtronic Yugioh deck profile for post-Duelist Nexus. Wanted to update the Morphtronic deck once I finally got my playset of Revolution Synchron. The card definitely does help for the Power Tool Dragon playstyle that you're meant to do in the deck, just being able to be used as a special summon from the hand for the card, and then also just being able to be special summoned quite easily from the graveyard, while also setting up some other potential Morphtronic monsters for you to use for special summons in the form of your Morphtronic repair unit, or just banish costs for your Morphtronic Smart Fawn since the last update from the new support we got for the Morphtronic cards as well for the deck. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the Morphtronic monsters. We're running 3 copies of Morphtronic Self-On. With this card, all the Morphtronics have different card effects while either in attack position or defense position. With your Morphtronic Self-On, while in attack position, it's the main card effect you'll use. You roll a 6-sided dice, and then depending on the number, you excavate the top cards of your deck, and then you can special summon a level 4 lower Morphtronic monster from among them, ignoring the summoning condition. So you can even summon Smart Fawn off of this card. You just won't be able to properly summon it from the graveyard again if you do summon Smart Fawn this way, but it just extends your resources, because then you can also summon another Self-On off of the other Self-On you summoned, and then use the same card effect of the Morphtronic Self-On, because they are all soft once per turns for their special summons. And I also run 3 copies of Morphtronic Telephon. This card is incredibly good in the deck in attack position. Once per turn during your main phase, you can roll a 6-sided die and gain life points equal to the result times 100. And then you can special summon 1 Morphtronic monster from your graveyard with a level equal to or lower than the result. So even if you have Self-On just in your graveyard, as long as you roll a 1, which is guaranteed, you'll be able to special summon that card back onto the field, or another Telephon that is already in the graveyard. Then you can use that Telephon that you already had on the field for a link summoning back the extra deck monster of your choice to the field, and then use that other Telephon to extend your die roll plays to summon it back into the field, and then just keep going with the link summon plays as well using this card. For some of the other level 1 Morphtronics, 3 Morphtronic Smart Fawn, you cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 1 Morphtronic monster from your graveyard. And then while in attack position, you can roll a 6-sided die and excavate that many cards from the top of your deck, and add 1 excavated Morphtronic card from among them and shuffle the rest back into the deck. So you can add your Morphtronic spells off of Smart Fawn, which is very useful. We have Morphtronic Converter, Morphtronic Repair Unit, all the different spells to search off of this card with all the lower level monsters as well. We can go for some synchro plays, including cards like our Formula Synchron for more draw power, or even just, like I said, our link plays, depending on which one we may want to use against our opponent. I also run the 3 copies of Morphtronic Remoten. With Remoten and Self-On on the field, you have the levels needed to make our Morphtronic Earfawn, which is a very useful synchro monster in the graveyard, which we'll go over when we get to the extra deck. And then you have the banish option once while in attack position. Once per turn, you can banish a Morphtronic from your graveyard to add 1 Morphtronic monster with the same level, but from your deck to your hand. So then search power. With all the ones I have discussed so far, you can just banish one of the other copies to search a different one from your deck to your hand. And then for some of the lower numbers for the Morphtronic monsters, 2 copies of Morphtronic Scannon. It cannot be normal summon or set. Must be special summon from your hand by banishing 1 Morphtronic monster from your hand. And in attack position, once per turn during your main phase, you can add 1 Morphtronic Spell Trap from your deck to your hand, then place 1 card from your hand on the top of your deck. So placing those cards from your hand on the top of your deck can set up monsters for you to special summon off of cards like your Morphtronic Self-On, or reveal off of Morphtronic Smart Fawn to add from your deck to your hand. So great setup and search power thanks to this level 6 tuner monster as well. If you have Self-On the field, those can be the 2 monsters needed to then summon out your Power Tool Dragon from the extra deck. And then I also run the 1 copy of Morphtronic Boomboxin. With this card and Smart Fawn or Telephon as the tuner, it gives you a Naturia Beast play, which I also like to run in the deck. And then you just have another potential search off of your Boomboxin, or just being able to special summon a different name monster from your deck off of Converter, which is why I'm only running the 1 copy of this card as well. And then the 1 copy of Gadget Hauler as well. This card can be searched off of Gadget Gamer, so it's really the only copy you need, because then you use this level 6 monster along along with your level 1 tuner to then go into Power Tool Dragon once again. With the new card, like I said, I was waiting to pull before I did the deck profile, is the Revolution Synchron. Very good card in the deck overall. It's great for the Synchron deck, but you can also use it quite well in the Morphtronic deck. If you Synchro Summon a Power Tool monster or a level 7 or 8 Dragon monster, this card in your hand can also be used as material. You can only use this effect of Revolution Synchron once per turn. If you control a level 7 or higher Synchro monster while this card's in your graveyard, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard to special summon this card, and also its level becomes 1. You can only use this effect of Revolution Synchron once per duel. So with the Power Tool Dragon summon, you can then summon Revolution Synchron back onto the field to then be able to go into cards like Lifestream Dragon, but you don't have to limit yourself to that. You can also go into cards like Borreload Savage Dragon for the same synchro play, or even being able to go into the synchro summon of your level 8 monster, which is a dragon monster still, using the Revolution Synchron in your hand if you have the proper levels of your other monsters on the field. It can be this card, and then just the Morphtronic Selfon, and then the Boomboxin even on the field to go for that level 8 synchro play. And then the 3 copies of the Gadget Gamer to finish off the main deck monsters when it's normal summon. You can add 1 level 1 machine monster from your deck to your hand, and you contribute this card to special summon 1 Morphtronic monster from your hand. Then you can special summon 1 Gadget Hauler from your hand or deck. So, search power as well. This is the Power Tool Dragon play, which I can go over at the end of the video, along with the additional Revolution Synchron play as well. And then for the spells, the 3 copies of Morphtronic Repair Unit on top of this card being searchable off of Smartphone. You also just have the target play if you have the 1 Morphtronic Unit in your graveyard, and then the needed 1 to send from your hand to the graveyard. You can then special summon either one of those 2 cards as long as you have a proper target in the graveyard to begin with already. And then the 3 copies of Junk Box, just another special summon card, which I also like about this card. It doesn't negate the monster's effect, it just destroys it during the end phase. So as long as you made use of that monster resource on the field, you can make full use of a Selfon, special summon back from the graveyard onto the field, and then use it for a link play or a synchro play before it gets destroyed during the end phase. And then for the last of the spell 3 ofs, the 3 copies of Morphtronic Converter, another searcher for Smartphone, but with this card you target a machine monster you control, apply the following effect depending on its battle position. If it's in attack position, you special summon 1 Morphtronic monster from your deck with a different name than that target monster, and then place the target monster on the top of the deck. So even if you open up one of your Morphtronics that you didn't want to open up with, let's say you have your Boomboxin, for that 1 play, you can at least target the Boomboxin, then special summon out a proper Selfon, setting up the Boomboxin on the top of the deck for you, then to at least have a target for the Selfon to special summon back onto the field, going +1 for the monster board you have. And then for the equip spells, because we do want a good number of other equip spells to run along with the Power Tool Dragon play, the 1 Life Extreme just as an additional equip power up option for our Power Tool monsters, the 1 Different Dimension Reincarnation, and the 1 Metal Silver Armor, and the 1 Power of the Guardians to finish up just the 1 of lineup I run for the equip spells in the deck as well. With the other non-Morphtronic spell lineup, 3 copies of Machine Duplication, because just depending on the level 1 monster, whether it be Telephone or Selfon, can at least get you 2 other special summons for additional resources for you then to make use of those other monsters you have on the field. With the last of the spells being the 1 Monster Reborn and the 1 1-for-1 with all the different level 1 monsters we run in the main deck, and then just more resource extension from the graveyard as well. For the extra deck monsters, I run the 1 Power Tool Dragon just for the easy Revolution Synchron plays. Like I mentioned before, being able to use this card from your hand for the synchro summon of your level 7 or 8 dragon monster. Then all you need is, it could be cards like Gadget Hauler set up on the field, which can easily be done with cards like your Gadget Gamer as well. If you don't have the level 1 Morphtronic Tuner, let's say that card was just stopped by the Ash Blossom play, as long as you have the Revolution Synchron in your hand as well, it can be used as material, or if it's in the graveyard, you can special summon it back into the field and have the level 1 synchro play for that as well. But then you also have the equip spell search thanks to your Power Tool Dragon as well, with the 1 copy of Lifestream as a level 8 option to go into, or the level 9 option with Power Tool Braver Dragon as well for the monsters to summon out. And it also says Power Tool Monster for Revolution Synchron, so if this card's in your hand as well and you have the Gadget Hauler, you have the Graveyard play to go into the Power Tool Dragon, but using the Gadget Hauler monster that's on the field, you can use the Revolution Synchron in your hand to then use those two monsters to go into Power Tool Braver Dragon all the easier. And then also the one Morphtronic Earphone. With this card, while this card is an equip card, the equipped monster can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If it's special summon, you can target a face-up monster on the field and treat it as a tuner until the end of this turn. And you can target a synchro monster on the field and equip this card from your field or graveyard to it. So more equip power for your Power Tool Dragon using this monster as well. And the 1 copy of Borreload Savage Dragon, the 1 Baron de Fleur, the 1 F.A. Dawn Dragster, the 1 Formula Synchron, and then also the 1 Naturia Beast, and the 1 Herald of the Arclight for the different synchro options to run in the deck. And for the Link monsters, the 1 copy of Link Karibo, the 1 copy of Relinquished Anima, the 1 IP Masquerena, along with the 1 Nightmare Unicorn, and the 1 Apollosa to finish off the rest of the extra deck. And as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, as I mentioned before, Gadget Gamer can help to set up a good amount of the different plays you run the deck. When it's normal summon, just being able to add 1 level 1 machine monster from your deck to your hand. So then you can just go for the normal summon play and then activate the potential search of this card, and you can get your tuner of search. If your opponent potentially Ash Blossoms this play, this is where the potential setup for your Revolution Synchron will come in handy. So if they do stop this play, as long as you have the Revolution Synchron, you can still continue on with your plays, because then you can use the Tribute of your Gadget Gamer, being a separate effect, to then summon out onto the field your Gadget Hauler, and then being able to use the Revolution Synchron in your hand, and the Gadget Hauler to then go into the level 9 Power Tool Braver Dragon, giving you the three equip spells with different names from your deck and or graveyard to this card to equip onto, so then you can use the equip power of your Metal Silver Armor, the Life Extreme, and then also the Power of the Guardians to equip all 3 of these spells onto your Power Tool Braver Dragon with that added option to protect it, and then have the battle position change and monster effect negation of this card to begin with, thanks to the potential stop of your opponent to then go into for the synchro summon of your Power Tool monster. If your opponent lets the Gadget Gamer play go and you do get the level 1, you have the option for the Tribute to special summon the Morphtronic monster additionally from your hand. So you need the 1 other Morphtronic monster in your hand to begin with. Don't forget, for the initial play, the play just comes down to if you have to summon out another Morphtronic that does not have the tuner option from your hand, if you opened it up with the initial play for your Gadget Gamer. Remember that for the Tribute to get out the Gadget Hauler, you do have to have the additional Morphtronic monster in your hand to summon out as well. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, I wanted to update the deck because Revolution Synchron definitely does help, whether it be with its graveyard setup or just its monster setup from the hand for all your different special summons for the Morphtronic deck. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.